So,
Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't know how to comb my hair. Yeah,
No one does.
this task of combing my hair is new for me.
Yeah. If you get such short hair like I do, it's like it's
Or
always
I can do like that, like this is I'm Superman here, not
yeah.
Superman. Okay,
but that's a
that's right.
good intro, I would say. So, hello and welcome to the Tapas and Pretzels show, or
Tim and
Tim and
David,
David
Tim and
show.
David.
I think that should be the eighth version of it, or the eighth podcast.
Yeah.
And in comparison to David's new hair, we will also talk about the new trends in the API platforms. And maybe you said also, David, what is then the difference between API platforms and APIs? What did you say? APIs solutions, right?
Yeah, indeed, I think that we are now a trend, a real trend now is a shift from platforms to solutions. A platform, for me, it's a sort of a black box that provides you with all the features you need in this case to manage the API lifecycle, the whole API lifecycle. A solution is something different because it's not a black box; it's an open box, so that you can compose your solution choosing and integrating components from different vendors. To do that is which is it's putting in place the composability paradigm that we are always referring when talking about APIs. To do this, what we need is to put a huge focus on standardization. We have to standardize the interfaces between the so-called API platform components, which is the API analytics. If you have an API analytics component or set of features, you have to define very well the interface, which could be also an API. Or the same happens with the API gateway or the API portal or the API whatever. Indeed, we are we have in the market some whatever as a service. Is software as a service applies to the next level in API platforms. There are in the market solutions for API as a portal, for example, as a service. For example, Appable with Alan Levy, I know you know, or API marketplace. For example, Affinity can also be another product that fits this new trend. What do you think, Tim?
Yeah, share your thoughts. Actually, I think we are already in a world where many things are composable. I mean, most companies living in a world where they have at least two hyperscalers because they don't put all the eggs in one basket. So you usually run on multiple hyperscalers, and then you have already to compose. And I think, as you explained earlier, it's really important that you have interoperable systems so that you have one connecting element, a description of an API, in my opinion, that describes from the security to the use case, but also the data products, what is that API and all the tools that you really can compose into a single solution that works for you as a company best. Because if you want to get the monolith again, it's like never fits to what you actually need. It usually has not enough features or too many features, and usually you need that you buy the things or get the things together that help you building a solution. And I think there are really great products, as I said, Affinities in the market, APIable, and also RPEDA, which is one of these federated API management solutions. And all of these tools, what they have in common usually is they're following the standards of Open API, Async API, and then you have basically a description of the API, and all the tools follow this standard. And it's so crucial and important that you have a standard, a market, industry-wide standard that these tools can follow, and then it's easy to integrate. I mean, that's why we always saying, hey, use the API, use REST paradigms. make it interoperable, make it decouples the systems because there's the description in the middle. The API gateway is nothing else than a decoupling of applications. And so the description is really important to the standard to decouple it from the logic, the business, and everything. So David, complete everything you said, totally right. And I think the decoupling is politics sometimes a really fishy word, but in IT systems, decoupling helps you always, in my opinion. No.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that this is we are talking about digital ecosystems. This is to this is I think that this kind of solutions is taking the ecosystem or putting in place the ecosystem in the API world, the API platform world, so that you instead of deploying an API platform as a whole, what you put in production or what you use is an API platform ecosystem or an API solution ecosystem. When there are several components specialized, highly specialized in a reduced set of features as in a microservices paradigm that so that you can compose your own solution, taking them and integrating them.
Yeah.
I think that I would like to see that in a near future. If you see there are some emerging providers that are working on this line. You can find, I don't know, Gravity, Tyke, Kong. They are componentized based platforms, so that you can link or you can integrate several platforms on your own or based on your needs.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Yeah, I think also the big established players in the market also going the trend of decoupling and modularization. Also, giants like XY, which usually have been a monolith in the past, but they're now having something like a meta API management, so you can connect several like Kong or the Apogee from Google or I don't know Azure API gateway. You can combine that into an X-way multi-layer level. I see like, okay, these are all the APIs I have in my enterprise level, and it's just combined here, and you don't need an X-way gateway. It works perfectly fine with all the other API management, and this, I think that's the way to go, because also, if you think about an API lifecycle, there probably is a team that defines the security. There's one team that defines the business. There are some standards and rules in general, but there are also those of them. They have to work together. They have to do the versioning. Things have to be updated, maintained, make it transparent. And also, speaking of processes, like usually an API is a connection between one thing, and then you have processes like combining multiple APIs into one solution. And that should work seamlessly by also replacing tools. The process, the crucial process in an enterprise should not break by just because you have exchanged an API gateway.
Yeah, completely agree with you. Yeah.
What do you think, David? What is the next step that we're going to see in the trends? Is there something you have a feeling?
Also,
Apart
I have a question.
from the platformation, the decoupling, the unbundling. You mean? I think that the AA is going to have a deep impact on API world. Not only generative AA, which also for API designing, I think that it's going to reduce a lot time to market. That's nice if you have an API as a product initiative in place, because you can redesign the API with a shorter time to market. Also predictive AI. I think it will impact on API analytics and also in testing, because you will be able to test your API in situations more similar to the real space.
Yeah. I think you wanted to add something, a topic.
No, that was actually the question I wanted to ask, especially in the type of AI, because it's always on the media and on every side, I would say. And I also see, also maybe on Twitter, aka X, those tools also, especially for AI tools, you can, like you said, Tim, combine them and make it like a huge platform of it. So I think that's a bit similar, I would say.
Absolutely. I think AI is one of these also trends that are going to change and break it. Not break it, but I think people want to build AI for themselves. And not every company would like to use OpenAI, ChatGPT, because they don't want to send out their intellectual property. So every company try now to build their own AI. But what does that mean actually? So most companies now building knowledge graphs. And knowledge graphs is basically a combination of several information that you have in the company, and you have to put that together into a graph, and then you have to have edges and nodes, and they have some weightings in between. And how does it work? And how do you get that data? And I think it's really crucial that you have transparency. What connections do you have in the company? What is the information that is connected? How often is that information transferred? What are the users for which use case? So this whole information chain, it's getting more and more crucial, and therefore, if you have a way of making your APIs transparent and the information that is transported by that API, that will enable companies to build what they're dreaming of, their own knowledge graph, their own AI, whatever that means in the end. And the knowledge graph is the fundament to build it. And I think once companies going to discover that this is the need, they will discover that they have to make APIs and the information make more transparent. Well, how is it connected? How does it work? And I think that will be the next major driver. Beside everything, make everything composable. And what you want, what you're transporting. Yeah.
Intelligent composability.
Yeah. Intelligent composability. Awesome.
But maybe that's not only the next topic for the next company, but maybe also another topic for the next podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
So, thank you, Tim. Thank you, David, for a nice overview. What you said about the new trends for API platforms, and maybe we'll see what kind of topic we will do next for our podcast. Maybe the knowledge graphs. Who knows? So yeah, then thank you very much, and we will see us
Okay.
next
See you
time.
soon.
See you soon.
Bye bye.
Bye.